If they had a Kane and Aguero standard player in their team, Arsenal and Chelsea, both of them would have walking away with 3 points. Two top quality strikers that can do it in the Premier League.
You're not even talking Kane and Aguero here with these Morata chances. These are basic chances in the Premier League. The opening chance and the closing for Alvaro Morata are simple. You don't need to play for Real Madrid or Juventus to be able to tuck those away. I expect anybody in the Premier League to make a better effort at those. The first was 10 yards wide. The second, a bouncing ball, an advancing goalkeeper. You're 6 yards away from the keeper. He's 8 yards off his line. I don't know where to start in describing that.
Is this a player short of confidence or short of quality?
I think there is quality there. I think there's a shortage of confidence. And listen, it's big boys' time for him. We talked about that at the beginning of the season. He's not the Morata that might come off the bench or play 20 games a season now when fit. He's the guy that has to lead the line, right, in the Premier League. Whether you think the Premier League's the best league or the most pressured league or whatever, he is paid to lead the line in this league that is worth billions of dollars to these teams, and he'll need to lead the line against Barcelona. Nobody can find the confidence apart from Alvaro Morata. He has got the quality, but unless he does it in England and in Europe for Chelsea, they'll have to get him out.
Strangely enough, this has been floating around for a bit, so I've brought in Craig Burley to try and make some sense to this. Craig, Johnny Evans to Manchester City. Craig, what do you think of this one?
Well, it was floating around in the summer. There was talk of this in the summer. If I was Johnny Evans, I would buy some really good running shoes, and I'd run from the Midlands and West Bromwich to Manchester and say, where do you want me to sign? Because West Brom are in a real rut, beaten again at West Ham. That's not really the story here. He's an ex-Manchester United player, right? Under Sir Alex Ferguson, he had some success. So there's a crossover there. Would that bother him? I don't know. Is he good enough to go in there as a squad player? I would say yes, he is. If you think Mangala's good enough as a squad player, then I suppose he is. Now, I think it's that Pep quite likes the fact that he's relatively accomplished on the ball. He's experienced. He plays a lot of games. He's an international footballer, and I can only see it as a squad purchase. It's not.
And you'd advise him to take that, even though we know the situation at West Brom. He knows he's just going there to sit on the bench, though.
Well, you know, you're playing some games. Company's got injury problems. Stones has had injury problems. Otamendi's not getting any younger, although he's playing well. Mangala is, I would say, up and down, but he's down more than he's up, although he's done okay recently. And it's a chance to earn another payday. I mean, they've got a big pay rise as well. It's a club that are only going in one direction, Man City. If he can suffer the fact that he's not going to play as much, but be part of something that could be a big story, then fine. As I say, I don't know how the lad sees it. From City, I think it's just about bulking up in the squad with an experienced, trusted Premier League player that could do it at that level.
All right, we'll take it as that. Thanks so much to Craig Burley then. So City to take Johnny Evans, who knows? But for Johnny Evans to go to City makes a whole lot of sense.
Let's start, shall we, with Coutinho. The latest news is that he's never going to play for Liverpool again.
Well, the latest news is that Liverpool expects to receive a formal bid from Barcelona, which they haven't received yet. Most of what you're getting right now is being briefed either by Coutinho's people or indeed by Liverpool, who say that they're preparing themselves. And unlike what we saw in the summer, they haven't been sort of steadfast in saying, no, we won't let him go at any price. From Barcelona's perspective, I think there's a debate to be had whether they feel that they should spend the money now, perhaps pay a premium, when in fact, you know, that they're flying in La Liga, and maybe could get a better deal for themselves in the summer.
Boys, take us into the player's perspective in all of this, because it just seems like, as Gab says, and I think we've talked about it over the last 48 hours, for both clubs it seems to make sense to have this deal done in the summer. So why are we hearing these reports that maybe Coutinho wants it done soon?
I think it's a difficult one for the player here, because clearly there's a recognition and a connection with Liverpool and the supporters, and he's clearly done really well there. Clearly Barcelona is such a big draw, and I can see the staying to Liverpool to the summer making sense, but I can semi-understand from a player's perspective. I don't want to be negative, but next week 3 days. Next month, you can break a leg.
So he's thinking about that.
No, but all I'm saying is it can go through a player's mind. You know, you do your cruise ship, you're out. They move on, Barca move on, they go somewhere else. It happens. So from a player's perspective, it's difficult sometimes to say, right, OK, we're going to do this in the summer and I'm just going to play for Liverpool all the way through. Because unfortunately, it's an occupational hazard. Bad injuries do happen and that can affect a player's mindset.
But what may also come into Coutinho's thinking here is Liverpool aren't going to win the title in the Premier League. I think we accept that. I don't think Liverpool are going to win the Champions League either. And as much as he may not be able to represent Barcelona in the Champions League, he could at least play a part in their league fixtures, and it could mean silverware. And it gets a move done sooner rather than later, and it gets him to where he wants to be right now and avoid the risks of, as Craig was just speaking about.
I can understand Barcelona wanting to get it done early because they've sorry, Gab, they're already looking to next year as well.
Right.
You know, player recruitment, gelling people into the squad. How does Coutinho fit in rather than just coming in the summer? Try and get him 4 or 5 months beforehand. So I can completely understand Barcelona trying to pressurise Liverpool into selling the player before they really want to do it.
Gab?
No, I think there's certainly within Barcelona, there's also a school of thought that comes out and says, well, hang on a minute, if we bring him in now, what are the implications going to be? Because this is going to be certainly going to be more expensive signing him now rather than signing him for June. And there's also a sense that you're kind of putting your eggs in your basket. And from Liverpool's perspective too, there's also a sense, look, Brazil are favourites for the World Cup, or certainly among the favourites. What if Coutinho goes and wins the World Cup? Then all of a sudden, maybe his fee could go even higher. He could be even more in demand. And the other elephant in the room is, if you sell Coutinho now, are you in danger of jeopardizing that top 4 finish and your Champions League place for next season?
Well, let's address that.
Well,
if Coutinho goes tomorrow...
Well, the answer is you are, because you took any quality player out of the side, particularly one that's a game changer, then you're making life more difficult for yourself. I mean, nobody would need to tell Jurgen Klopp that. I mean, the guy knows it, but as Gab, for all the reasons Gab has pointed out there, it is a real game of bluff and bluster here, where there are so many different permutations in this time frame between now and the summer that everyone's worried. The players worried. You got Klopp worried. You got Barcelona worried. For goodness sake, even Brazil will be monitoring what's happening with the guy, and so it's a real difficult one. In an ideal scenario, he stays at Liverpool and he goes to Barcelona in the summer. That's the ideal scenario, I think, for everybody. But it doesn't always play out that way.
As much as the form of Salah coming in kind of makes it easier to imagine life without Philippe Coutinho, you're still looking at a top 4 race, as I mentioned, City running away with it. You've got 5 trying to shoehorn into 3. You take that out, you do lose quality, and you do put things in danger. Not finishing in the top 4 also affects what Liverpool can do transfer-wise in the summer.
Not many people at Manchester United, or not anyone, would really be celebrating the issue with Romelu Lukaku, whether it's his injury or the fact that he's not in the form we expect him to be in. But someone could, and that's Anthony Martial. Many believe this is his time to shine, Craig, and he has been shining already. So is this his time to step up in the forefront?
Maybe a chance for Marcus Rashford as well. But certainly Martial took an opportunity at Everton the other day. I don't necessarily think it's Lukaku's misfortune is a big opening for him. I think he should just be doing it for himself, whether it's in the wide position, which is where he's natural, or through the middle. I just think there's so much more consistency to come from this guy. I saw him play recently as well for France in a friendly in Germany, and he was excellent. In a super French team, a young, dynamic, quick, pacey, talented French team, he was up there. He was up there with, you know, in that game with Pogba, with Tolisso, with Griezmann, with all these, with Kante, with all these guys. Kingsley Coman played. So can he do it more often, and should he be doing it more often? Absolutely, 100%. And it could be an opportunity for him. But Lukaku will be back sooner rather than later. I mean, he's not out. He's not out for months. He's out for weeks, probably another couple of weeks, maybe 3 weeks. So it's whether Anthony Martial can show the desire and the drive to showcase his talents on a weekly basis for Man United. If he has that desire, he can do it because he's good enough. You don't get in the French squad in its current climate if you're not a talented player. It's down to him.
With all that said, of course, and everyone has been applauding what Jose Mourinho has done for Anthony Martial, and we see it, but 22 years old. He's still quite young, but
Yeah.
I mean, we saw how there was a bit of an issue when Zlatan came in last season, and there was rumors that he wasn't happy being pushed into the background. Now with Lukaku there, he still is in a bit of the background. So should he look elsewhere, or should he just stay at Man United? Because people don't think he's as happy at Man United.
I think maybe it's just his demeanour. He never looks
Very happy. He doesn't celebrate much.
like myself. It takes a lot for him to have a little smile now and again, you know.
Exactly.
But I always look at him in a game and think, how badly do you want it? Now, that might be wrong, I don't know. But that's what it looks to me, because I just know, having watched him, like the United fans have, and a lot of other people, there's much more in there.
Yeah.
He's quick, so he's got to be more decisive, he's got to be more direct. If I'm a fullback or a centre-half, and he gets turned, he should be running straight at me. Right, taking fullbacks on. That's what when he first came in from Monaco and when he signed for Monaco, that's what United fans thought they were getting. And those first few games, he was running at people, taking them on, making them back off, dropping his shoulder, getting in the box, using that pace. That's what Anthony Martial's game's built on. That's what we have to see more often. And if he does, it'll be quite a simple selection for Jose Mourinho. First starting 11 on the team sheet, you play, and if he doesn't, he'll be on the bench.
Agreed with you there. Thanks so much, Craig Burley. So it has nothing to do with Lukaku. It's all down to Anthony Martial himself.
Welcome to Extra Time. Here we are. Craig's got a bad back. We're preparing for the snow here. Shaka's staying in a hotel. That is how dedicated he is. Hotel by work, so he can be here tomorrow. We're both off tomorrow.
Yeah.
That'll be all right.
I won't be
Hope
shoveling.
you all will be shoveling snow.
Well, that's why clearly I've got a bad back. Just come up at the right time, I think.
Yes, it is.
Someday in my house will have to go out and shovel again.
Oh, Mrs. Burley.
That's who it is.
How was skiing, Gav?
It was good. We had a lot of snow over in the German-speaking part of Italy. I don't know if you realized there was such a place, Dan.
I do know.
Right, let's move on. Morata.
Skiing places. So skiing places with snow, and German speaking in Italy. Sounds like a great trip.
Gav, do you speak German, yeah? One of your 18 languages?
Yes, I can get by in German. But they all speak Italian too.
Oh.
It's just that they all have German names and they all look Germanic and so on. But enough about me. Let's talk Morata.
Who have you got, Gav, Morata or Lukaku?
To me, they're different players. I think Morata's better rounded. I think he does more, or can do more. I think he has a higher ceiling. But I have a soft spot for Lukaku. So I'm going to lean Lukaku simply because I like him more.
1-0 Lukaku. Craig?
Morata, I think, is a better quality of player. Clearly not in what we saw in the Arsenal game, but I think in general.
1-1.
Lukaku.
2-1. Lukaku.
Get Nickel in quick.
Shaq, why does Courtois not get more praise for his performances? De Gea would have got more praise if he put in the performance that Courtois put in against Arsenal.
I think Courtois gets a lot of praise.
He's had a good season, hasn't he?
He's been outstanding.
Yeah.
He's been outstanding for a very long time. I still think De Gea is a better goalkeeper, but but Courtois gets as much praise as I think deserves. That's outstanding.
Ski Sunday wants to say something, Gav.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw this out there as somebody who writes and is responsible for some of the praise. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that De Gea plays behind far worse defenders, and a lot of times with De Gea, it's a case of him having to go and save United's bacon because the defenders aren't particularly good. Whereas I think with Courtois, it's also the fact that he plays behind guys like Aspilicueta, like Christensen, who are really, really good, like in N'Golo Kante in front, who are really good at what they do. So I think you generally see him less.
Have you ever done bobsleigh?
Bobsleigh?
Gav,
Why don't you put your glasses on to say that?
You ever done, what other winter sports do you do? Bobsleigh? Ski jumping? What else?
No. I cut back on the ski jumping. My contract won't
What?
won't allow for
Where
that.
do you stand on cool running, Shaq?
Snowball fights.
Yeah, I'm talking about cool running. Is it good or is it racially insensitive?
It's a bit late for that, is it not?
No, I'm intrigued.
No, I've never seen that movie.
Have you not seen it?
I've never seen the movie.
You know what it is, though, don't you?
I know what it is. I know Jamaica as a country uses it as a marketing tool. You go to Jamaica's airport, they have a ski team, bobsleigh team, they play it up.
Oh, there you go.
They have got a downhill.
Dan,
Yeah, yes, Gab.
The 1990s are over, man.
What does that mean? What does the 1990s over mean? I'm asking Shaka, as someone from the Caribbean, what he makes a cool run. So what does that mean, Gab? That it's not a film that we should be talking about?
I don't know that our millennial audience would really even know what Cool Runnings was.
There's a bobsleigh in Jamaica. No.
Yes, what did Shaka just say that?
It's not the same one, is it? An Ocho Rios. When I was there in the summer...
I mean, there's the actual, like,
but it's not
truck thingy.
Well, yeah, but it's on rails. It's not obviously in ice. But so, you know...
So we can't talk about movies that weren't made before 2000?
I love how he said man at the end of it. It's the 90s, man.
Right. Where are we going? Given how good Courtois and De Gea are...
Are you really suggesting that was racially insensitive?
I don't know. I'm just intrigued. Like, if there was a Cornish bobsleigh team, would I feel that they're, you know, taking the mickey? I don't know how I would react to it. And I know Shaq's not from Jamaica, but he's from the Caribbean, and I just thought it...
Yeah, generalising.
No, I don't think I'm doing that.
I understand.
I seriously think we should just move on here.
I don't know why.
Because it is no good.
Given how good Courtois and De Gea are, would clubs pay 100 million plus for the services? How much would Shaq be worth in today's market? So you were the most expensive goalkeeper in England?
British transfer, yes.
How much was that?
That was 1.2 million or something like that.
Now, what year was that?
1995.
1995.
You were cheap.
So Cool Runnings.
Cool Runnings had just come up.
Right, Gab, we're going to talk about the 90s now. You do the maths. 95, 1.2 million. How much would Shaq go for now?
I'd say, Shaq, I think you'd be, I mean, if you look at how much Jordan Pickford cost, and I like to think of you as sort of like the Jordan Pickford of your day.
Oh. I'll take that all day long.
20, 25 million?
20, 25 million.
I'll take that all day long.
I thought it'd been a bit more, Shaq.
My little man asked me if I was as good as Jordan Pickford. I was like, no.
Craig, how much are you, Celtic to
First one,
Derby?
second one. Celtic Derby.
The bigger one.
Well, it's only 500,000. It was 3 million.
3 million? How much that'll be now?
Yeah, 4. 2.5 and
That just made my day, you know. That made my day.
Really?
It did. It really did.
Wow.
I'll tell you what, you've had a bad day.
Well,
take it out in the hotel bar that you go to.
I plan to. I'll celebrate. I'll celebrate.
Why won't you give David Moyes credit for stabilising West Ham, Shaka? The players seem to believe in him. Why don't you?
Stubborn. Wanted Ronald Koeman, didn't he? Sorry.
I wanted Guardiola. I didn't think we'd get it. Proof is in the pudding. We'll see at the end of the season.
Proof is in the pudding. There you are, ladies and gentlemen. Shaka Hislop back tomorrow.
It's not nice to see a guy who's been under fire, whether you like him or not, a guy who's been under fire, criticised to the high heavens, and come back in when nobody wanted him there, and so far.
I've stopped listening to you a long time. What are you going on about, Craig?
Job. David Moyes.
I enjoyed the celebration yesterday, I have to admit. I really did. I really did. I wish him well. I do.
People forget he's 10 years plus at Everton.
Right.
Ignoramus.
I do wish him well.
Goodness, like Steve Nicol.
I wish him well. I'm coming into your shot. I do wish him well.
Well, everyone's in this shot.
Yeah, but I thought you were trying to hug the camera for a moment.
No.
I do wish him well.
So, our very own Jordan Pickford back tomorrow. Ali Moreno returns from vacation. Paul Mariner here as well. Sebastian Salazar. Have you told no Paul Mariner?
Oh.
Well, no Paul Mariner.
So what am I going to drink with in the bar later?
He said his nose might be here.
Well, maybe you should just take yourself to your room, watch Cool Runnings, and then give us a report. There you are. ESPN FC, back tomorrow.
Paul's having his teeth done.
That could take a while. ESPN News.